Hey guys, this is Eckhart Slaughter. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars video. So, today at Gamescom, we got new trailers for both Star Wars Squadrons and LEGO Star Wars. I usually do Star Wars gaming stuff over on my second channel, X2. However, because this was a lot of stuff for one day, I thought it warranted a video on the main channel as well. However, if you want to see the continuing coverage, including my entire live-streamed reaction of today's event, I'll include a link down in the description. So, with that being said, let's first take a look at Star Wars Squadrons, a trailer which, of course, I was immensely excited for. And for those who don't know, I actually got to try Star Wars Squadrons back, I guess, a couple months ago at this point. So, some of this I was already kind of familiar with, and we can talk about that as we go through the video. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so this first scene here, and we see Alderaan, of course, and Leia, actually comes from the cutscenes of Star Wars Squadrons. I was able to talk a little bit about this in my initial reactions, but the way the cutscenes work is really cool. In the game, there's sort of these, they're almost like propaganda posters brought to life, which make up a large portion of the cutscenes. There's a Leia one, we also saw a Darth Vader one, which was very similar, just Imperial-oriented, sort of like the campaign has those two halves. But this isn't the only way cutscenes are presented. There is also sort of traditional in-engine content, which we'll see a little bit later. So, of course, we see Leia kind of giving an overview of the formation of the rebellion.
Dark. Freedom or destruction.
Destruction of Alderaan.
The Empire chose to destroy Alderaan in order
I cry
to
every
spread
time.
fear and douse the fires
Death
of
Star
rebellion.
run. Well, pretty simple, but it's really, really well done, and probably one way to kind of, it seems to me like maybe this helped cut on costs while still making a really cool narrative, and I like it.
And brought about our new republic. However, the Empire lives on, shattered though it may be. As I speak,
3 Star Destroyers. All the Star Destroyers in this game that I've seen anyway are ISD ones. The old Legends New Republic logo, which has actually been used more frequently now.
They try to tighten their grip. But the galaxy is changing, and you can be a part of it. With the help of brave and daring pilots, this war can end. Make a choice. Fly with the New Republic. Change our galaxy for the better.
Inspiring stuff.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Hunka, narrative producer on Star Wars Squadrons. Our single...
So, we get a look at a lot of the craft that we know up here, at least in single player. You can see a very small Gazanti right here. We got Raider-class corvettes, the Architens, or the Imperial Light Command Cruiser, and down here, this is sort of a recreation of what the map looks like, the scanner. So let's just continue.
Story is one of
Not super important.
and deep-seated rivalry.
That is Admiral Rey Sloane, and if you guys don't know, Rey Sloane is one of the main new Imperials from Star Wars canon. She first appeared in the Aftermath trilogy. Pretty cool character. She hasn't really gotten a lot of coverage since Aftermath. She's briefly mentioned in Battlefront 2 and a couple of other places, but she's one of the ranking Imperials after the Battle of Endor.
Take Titan Squadron. Hunt down
She looks good in live action, basically exactly how I imagined her.
Admiral Sloane.
Over the course of the story, you'll fly
Some new
as
Star
2
Destroyer
pilots on
models.
opposite sides of the war.
No new ships here, just GR-75s, Nebulon Bs. I wonder what they're on here. Probably the MC-8075 Temperance.
And, like...
So this scene is from the campaign. It says, footage representative of VR gameplay, which I didn't notice before. None of the graphics seem really scaled down or anything, although it is kind of a motion shot. So this scene comes from the very first Rebel Alliance level, and it takes place right after the Battle of Endor, or sorry, the Battle of Yavin. Basically, your mission here is to rescue Alderaanian refugees who have been targeted by the Empire, which, come on, that's the most Imperial thing to do. And from what I remember at this part of the mission, basically you're protecting this Quasar from, I think, a Raider-class corvette, which is making a run on it. You've got this MC-80 Liberty type providing a lot of firepower support. And that's one thing you'll really notice in this cutscene compared to games like Battlefront 2. The capital ships, or maybe it's this Raider right here, the capital ships put out a lot of fire. Like you can see, like, they are actually firing. And the way this works, it's kind of cool, is you start this mission off seeing the Imperial side. Basically, you launch from this really large Imperial fleet. It's very cool. And then the perspective switches over to the New Republic, or the Alliance at this point, sorry, because one of the Imperial officers this guy right here. I can't remember his name. Not him.
Sides of the war.
Defects. So this guy was originally an Imperial, but he defects. And I mean, hunting down refugees of a planet you've just destroyed, I'd say that's probably worthy of defection. This shows you kind of like the pre-launch screen. You can see that you can go check out those fighters. And of course, this is my most hype point of this trailer. And we'll discuss this more on X2 tomorrow.
Rogue Squadron.
But
I hear you're the reason I was able to finally get a comm through.
We have essentially Rogue Squadron recanonized after the Battle of Endor, which for me is really exciting.
A glimpse of an early Imperial mission.
This is one really cool detail I'll come back to in a moment.
One of our spies, Agent Thorne, has discovered vital intelligence on Project Starhawk. Your mission is to...
So, Project Starhawk is obviously the New Republic's creation of the new Starhawk class battleships. Starhawks, as I'm sure many of you know, are basically Imperial Star Destroyers that have been destroyed and recombined to make this new super powerful vessel. We'll see that in just a moment.
To extract her from an orbital outpost above Hosnian Prime.
Hosnian Prime, of course, very relevant as the, the system destroyed in the episode 7.
Behind enemy lines, you'll have to
you can see right here a really cool use in a second of the drift feature.
Perimeter defenses.
You'll see kind of when he's pulling around there that the engine's cut and he pulls a very dramatic turn and then kind of loses his speed.
When you've secured the area, you will escort
that's the drift mechanic. You can use that even more drastically on some ships, like the... Well, actually, it really just depends how you use it. You can completely stop and turn around and shoot down an enemy who's chasing you, or a missile that's on your tail, or whatever else. We see some of the old transports from TIE Fighter here. We see some GR-75s. All believable stuff that would be around any sort of shipyard.
When you've secured the area, you will escort the Gladius to the outpost.
Nice to see a Lambda shuttle, very TIE Fighter or even Rogue Squadron-esque mission. And this is obviously, I assume that most of the major missions, maybe after the first few, will have this sort of pre-mission briefing. And again, something like you'd see in X-Wing and TIE Fighter, or even a game like Ace Combat. Very cool.
Cover our escape and escort us to the jump point. We have Republic corvettes inbound.
You see the shield shimmering around that CR-90.
Change course and keep Agent Thorne safe. Titan 3, take out those fighters.
Understood. I'll handle it.
There's a better, probably, example of the drift mechanic there. You can see that he just cuts the engines, completely turns around. And ships like the TIE Interceptor can do this even better.
No time to celebrate. Move on.
So, somebody asked me, what do you think of the hyperspace-capable TIEs here? And if you pay attention, the TIEs aren't hyperspace-capable. They're actually docked here with a Gazanti-class cruiser, which I thought was a really, really nice touch. Instead of just leaving, the TIEs actually have to enter and exit battle through these clamps on the Gazanti. And you can see them... let's see. See right here, these clamps actually hold the fighters and bring them into battle. Other than the Raider, I believe, has its own hyperdrive.
Thorne has discovered vital intelligence on Project.
So yeah, let's just continue.
Go, go, go!
I love that detail, and I saw that in the bit that I played. So we get another look at a New Republic fleet here. I feel like we've seen most of the capital ships. Like, they're not going to reinvent the wheel, I don't think, with too many new capital ship types, but still. Really nice seeing them flying into the hangar. This is the scene, I believe, where the Alderaanian refugees are rescued. It's like an asteroid base, sort of.
Between the New Republic and a shattered empire. Debrief with your squad mates between missions.
You're our new wingmate.
Customize and master all 8 starfighters.
One thing you guys might not know is that you can actually customize the look and voice of your campaign pilot as well. So if you want to be like a cocky Imperial ace, you can do so. Or if you want to be, you know, an old veteran, you can do so. Or somebody a bit more shy. At the beginning of your campaign, you actually choose the voice and appearance for both your Imperial and New Republic character. Because most of the campaign does take place after the Battle of Endor. Other than, I think, perhaps just the prologue mission.
Join the galaxy's finest.
Mission for each faction. Harrison Dula, of course. I assume this is a general's rank. I can't remember exactly how the plaques work. So at this point, I don't think we know the exact placement of the game. We know from Alphabet Squadron 2 that this could perhaps be the Lodestar, but more likely this is when she's on loan with the Temperance, which would put this before the Battle of Jakku, but
And ready to go.
not right after the war, or right after the Battle of
Bombing
Endor.
runs at the Nadiri dockyards to setting a trap.
I just love the movement of these fighters here. Like, you can completely stop and turn.
Setting a
It's
trap in the
just
Xavian
great.
Abyss.
Xavian
The
Abyss.
story of these rival squadrons will push the war to the brink and
A lot of people ask me if you can destroy individual parts on a ship. And you actually can. You can take out armor pieces. You can take out individual guns. Like, you can actually see he's got the turret targeted here. And you can see right now he's actually got full power to engines. And then his shields and his guns are really suffering. So it's kind of bold as a
to the brink.
bold as a Y-wing to do that. And of course, a look at the Starhawk. Somebody pointed out to me on Twitter that the Starhawk does actually have some visual differences. I'm kind of wondering whether that's simply because... Actually, that just looks like the front of a Starhawk. What's going on there? I never noticed that.
October 2nd.
I don't know if it's just perspective, but it almost looks like that Starhawk's incomplete. Missing its back end, maybe? Interesting. I mean, the way the Starhawk's built, it almost looks like the front would be formidable itself. But this part right here is not a hangar or anything like that. It's actually a tractor beam projector. And I'll put up a screenshot from Twitter that shows the difference between this model and some of the other Starhawks we've seen. It could just be that this is the Starhawk, the prototype of the ship class, or it could be that the tractor beam projector is somehow sheathed before it's actually used. But that's speculation. It's most likely just a model difference.
October 2nd.
You can see the tractor beam being fired there. All in all, I'm not going to play too much more of that sound because I will 1000% get copyright flagged. I was really happy with this trailer. I would have liked to see a bit more, but we got a nice look at campaign. So with that, let's take a less deep look at LEGO Star Wars. Alright, so we are here with the LEGO trailer now, and I'll give this one a little less deep of a watch through because I'm not as familiar with all of the details of this game. Although I am very excited for it. I love the sort of clunky exposition here. You've got Luke thinking of his friends in Cloud City as he's supposed to be training, which, yeah.
Become a Jedi like my father.
This game looks really incredible, though. We did, of course, learn that it will be delayed, sadly, but if it means of getting a better game, I'm all for it. We get lots of prequel. I just love the little detail. He puts his helmet on, and of course, his face changes to his pod racer face. We'll most likely get a pod racing minigame. I remember the original one from LEGO Star Wars 1 is quite difficult.
By the dark side.
Fishing Anakin and his legs out of the lava. See, I was wondering about this. This is obviously the scene from Rogue One. I don't know if that indicates that there will be Rogue One stuff in this game, which I wouldn't expect, or if maybe they'll just tie it on to Episode 4, which would be cool. C-3PO taking a bath. We see actually, you know, this is a look at gameplay, and things are a lot different than the sort of, I guess, like almost isometric view you get in the other LEGO games. It's like over the shoulder. You can see the stormtroopers actually reacting to being shot at. Just amazing detail. Like, this game is going to be crazy. Flying sections here down the trench run.
That boy is our last hope.
Drinking the blue milk and getting the blue milk mustache. Painting the arm red.
I'm from the Resistance. Your sister Leia.
I never realized how much the Rey LEGO figurine looks like Leia. That's Luke's episode 9 flow. These games are just so charming, but that lightsaber battle looks pretty intense. I mean,
The Force will be with you, always.
get a close look at the Battle of Hoth section. It's been a while since we've got a good, proper Battle of Hoth. I've been playing through some older Star Wars games on the second channel. Shadows of the Empire and Rogue Squadron, so I feel like I'm going to be an ace at this. But we can again see the scope of the battle. There's stuff going on in the distance here. Grievous, the Rancor. This is kind of cool. We get a shot of Coruscant here. I wonder, well, that'll be a Clone Wars tie-in, of course, Mace Windu, or if it's going to be a maybe an episode 2 or an episode 3 tie-in. Either way, very cool. Nice look at the battle over Starkiller. And, I mean, I don't think these space sections or these flight sections will be incredible, but they've always been fun in the past, so I expect at least that in this. That, to me, looks like episode... Just go back for a second. Yeah, that's definitely the episode 1 Battle of Naboo thing. Or maybe Escape from Naboo. That almost looks like the Royal Starship, maybe? So maybe this is while they're running the blockade. That could be a mini-game or something. 2 Imperial 1 class Star Destroyers there.
Not him, the Falcon.
It's hard to explain how strangely excited I am for this game. We get a look at the Battle of Exegol, the new TIEs. Almost called them TIE droids. That's their Dark Empire equivalent. We see I mean, that looks really cool. Like, there's no other way to put it. Yaddle, of course. And Tatooine there, just... Like, that looks incredible. I've been reading Tatooine Ghost by Troy Denning recently, and it's made me kind of wanted to visit the planet in a game or something again. So, this just captures the feel of the planet really well. I assume this is kind of an extended cut of the... Well, I missed it, but Leia trying to rescue Han. Battle of Geonosis there just looks legitimately awesome.
I'm a Jedi, like my father before me. So be it. Jedi.
That's definitely Sam Witwer. All in all, this game does look amazing, but as we see, it unfortunately has been delayed till spring 2021. But you know what they say about a good game, a delayed game being good forever and a rushed one being bad forever. You know, I'm excited. Coming out for the Nintendo Switch. I'll probably get it for like the Switch and the PC. I assume it's coming out on PC. But yeah, really excited for this game. I think it's going to be great. Both the trailer for this and Star Wars Squadrons were phenomenal. There's also a Sims thing too, for you guys who are interested in that. But that's all I really have to say about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this content. For more gaming coverage, you can check out the other channel, X2. But until next time, please be safe, have a good one, and may the Force be with you.